When they infused the Ogiso language into our language to make the new territory because of the intermarriage that happened with Oromiyon and Co, they now begin to merge the Yoruba language. You know, originally there is nothing called Yoruba. It's a derogatory statement, but I don't want to get there. They begin to merge what we now call the Yoruba language to the ancient Idu language versus the imposed Portuguese tongue. These three languages gave us what we have today as Benin. So what there's a Wagbe, whatever you hear them speaking, is corrupted by three languages.
The Ogiso,
the ancient Ndibo language, and the Portuguese infusion. Now, traces to that, originally, we don't have anything like Yoruba. We should be having something like Ijebu, Awori, Eba, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Kai swagger. Oyo Sokoto.
Originally, as I was telling you, if you understand that before the white men imposed warrant chiefs and kings on us, the custodian of the land is originally the chief priest of the deities and pantheons. Now, when a chief priest is the leader of the community, he's also a great diviner, right? At a place called Ogenenuhe, Uhe, present-day Kogi, is one of the tentacles of the ancient Idueri kingdom. That is where the man Idu died. Till today, the royalty still pay homage to that place. But you know, modern day marginalization of states has begun to make, when I tell you that Kogi is part of Idu, you begin to look at it, is it not Kogi state? Is it not Anambra? Okay? The state-to-state boundary amendment is now making them, but it was a vast land before. Now, Aka, Efa, and Emehi, okay, the three sons of Idu,
Aka,
Efa, and Emehi, they give birth to all the vast land of Idu. Now, but the main problem is this: how do we retain our knowledge when nobody is talking about it? The knowledge of our history. Now, from the word IDU, or sometimes they spell it IDUU, they corrupted it to EDO. Please pronounce E for me. Is it E or E? Is it not E?
E.
Now, if that is letter E, DO is it not do? Is it not Idu? And they are calling it Edo State. They know they are lying. When a white man comes to our land, some of the indigenous name we have is bigger than them because they are diphthong and they don't have strong consonant and vowel sound. So they cannot pronounce it as we do. They corrupt the name. When we gave them Omombala, they wanted to bite their tongue. They call it Anambra. We stupidly followed suit. Oka, O-K-A, originally written with O, with a bomb under. K and the A, they are now writing A-W-K-A. Onitsha, Onitsha. Ahaba, Asaba. Iguacha, they colonized the place and gave name to it from a pedophile, Mr. Harcourt, and called it Port Harcourt. Now, the Idu dynasty, Asian people, are they not Igbos? How do I know that Asians are Igbos?
Tell us.
For every Igbo setting and circulating the Idu dynasty, there are traces you used to know. Number one, they must have 4 market days. I repeat, they must have 4 market days. Eke, Oyo, Afo, Nkwo. By virtue of language disparity, dialectal dysfunctionality, they may call it Eke or Eka or whichever thing you want to call.
Eken.
Whether you call it Eken, whichever thing, it will found itself under the Eke, Oyo, Afo, and Nkwo. Like, you know, we're now Oye or Oyo, like Omombala, is Orie.
Orie.
Okay? Afo, Nkwo, they can manipulate it whichever way, but it's the same meaning.
Yes.
So for every place the Igbos have their tentacles, you must have 4 market days. Number 2, there must be New Yam Festival. We call it Iliji in Igbo land. Some people call it Iwaji. Some people call it Awamji.
Some call it Imeji.
Imeji. Our own progenitor Batala took it to the Ogiso people and they call it Aje Festival. I don't want to go there for today. Now, if you go to Bini, are they not doing such?
Something like that.
Okay. Now, in Asian land, there must be 4 market days. There must be Iwaji Festival, New Yam Festival. The women must be tying 2 wrapper pieces, 2 pieces of cloth. The women must be what?
Tying 2 pieces of wrapper.
Okay. Number 3, they circumcise their child on the 8th day. Number 4, there must be masquerade venerated. The word masquerade, the beauty of death, mong. When you bring 2 words and join it together, the meaning becomes so interesting that it takes someone with the intellect of the ancestor to decipher it. Everybody is shouting mong, but the word is actually mong, the beauty of death. Mando, the beauty of existence, life. Beauty of life. So there must be mong, through which we communicate with the other astral plane where our ancestors have transited to. Are you listening?
Yes.
Then there must be a central deity. There must be a chief deity. In Igbo, we have Chukwu or Olise. What do they have? The same Olise. They call it Ose. Okay? Now, when they infuse the Ogiso language into our language to make the new territory because of the intermarriage that happened with Oromiyon and Co, they now begin to merge the Yoruba language. You know, originally there is nothing called Yoruba. It's a derogatory statement, but I don't want to get there. They begin to merge what we now call the Yoruba language to the ancient Idu language versus the imposed Portuguese tongue. These 3 languages gave us what we have today as Benin. So what they whatever you hear them speaking is corrupted by 3 languages.
The Ogiso.
The Ogiso.
The
ancient Ndibo
language.
And the Portuguese infusion. Now, traces to that, originally, we don't have anything like Yoruba. We should be having something like Ijebu, Awori, Eba, blah, 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 blah. Elaje. That is the encapsulation of all things that became Yoruba today. But that is how every language, Onunsoka, Obuzunu, Nkano, Obuzunu, Uduneke, Ezago, Eza, Izi, Ehamufu, Onunde Owere, Oluowere, then Anambra, Onundabreba, all encapsulated under one language, Igbo. Same way all these languages encapsulated and be merged under one language, Yoruba. Same is what they are doing today. When they merge Ogiso with Igbo and the infused Portuguese language, they have what they are speaking. So if you say you don't want to know the truth, the Eka people is an attestation that Igbos are there. The Eastern people are called the people that run away from evil because they have the science of witchcraft, telepathy, teleportation, okay, time traveling, astral manipulations. They are the custodians of this knowledge. The strongest witchcraft in the world will be found in Asian. Are they not Igbos? Eka people, are they not Igbos? So if you want to know who you are, your language will point who you are. Food. If you can meet an Asian man, listen, let me shock you now. If you can meet an Asian man that can name his 5 to 7 generation, before he names 3 generations, you will begin to hear Igbo name. If you can meet an Eka person, although Eka knows they are Igbos, but just for the state of record, if an Eka man names 5 of his generation, before the 3rd generation, he begins to mention Igbo name. This so-called Benin today, let them name 6 generation behind, 5 generation behind. If they don't name Igbo.
This is a strong statement.
Because they know in the trace of your lineage, your original identity exposes itself. That's why they begin to introduce a new packaging, surname, first name, and middle name. It was not so in our original culture. When we meet a man, you ask them, we don't ask them, what is your name? We ask them, who begot thee? Or there moge? Now, who born you? By asking you who born you, I am giving you the privilege to list your fourth generation at least, maternally and paternally. By listing your fourth generation, paternally and maternally, haven't I known you?
Definitely.
So they introduced a new byword, surname, first name, and middle name. Infringed baptism upon us so that they would take away your indigenous name. Told us to stop imprinting tribal mark tattoo, that is a sin. So that this insignation that served as an international passport then, that identified who you are, will no longer remain. That was how we don't know who we are. Now, originally every Igbo man, there is an insignation, Igbo Ichi, in your body. You don't need to ask me of your passport. The Ichi is your passport. There are several kinds of Ichi. Family Ichi, that the one in the right hand, for example, is to show which family gave birth to you. The one in your left hand is to show your maternal home. The one in your back is to show which clan. The one in your front, which kindred. The one in your, which warrior group. By all this Ichi, someone have known you. So when they begin to take our slaves, they gave them the Bible, a book filled with lies, and now tell them that it is not good for us to imprint tattoo on our body. Leviticus 19, 27 and 28. By doing that, you forgot your original identity trace, such that our indigenous brother that has been dispersed all over Europe and America can no longer trace home. Because there is no mark, there is no seal on their body. You see the way they came into us. We should go back to our ancient ways. Jeremiah 6:16. We should go and ask our forefathers. Let them teach us who we are. Job chapter 8 verse 8. These are the words of our ancestor, copied from the Egyptian book of the dead, the papyrus of Ani. I think this is where I will rest my case for now.
MAAZI, I thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Dalo.
Hello, viewers. I thank you for the patience that you have given to us on this particular segment on the Nnamen TV show, The Unified Igbos Now.
Dalo.
I've had the privilege of bringing to you this magnificence in a man who, I mean, I will say he's an encyclopedia of diverse knowledge and history. Well, we will be bringing it to an end or to a conclusion right now. And I promise you that MAAZI will always be with us because we've had an agreement to propagate the message of the unification of Ndigbo. I still remain one of yours sincerely, faithfully, Chukwemeka, the Unified Igbos Now proponent. Good day and God bless.